Good morning. Today is Thursday, March 13th, 2025. Jump date for Friday the 14th. All right, let's go. Well, as far as setups, I do still like this dash, but it came within a few cents of triggering. Market is severely oversold. I just don't think it's worth going after at this juncture, so I'll put wait here. I know I've never done this before, but I was thinking right before I went live, my job, kind of like a doctor's creed, is first do no harm, and it's not worth the risk at this junction. Let's see if the market bounces, and then we'll throw some more shorts on. As I preach, darned if you do and darned if you don't when it comes to the short side. To those who are new to the surface, if you short an oversold market as the mother of all bounces, if you don't, oversold becomes even more oversold. Anyway, here's the dash. You can see it pretty much imploded, but didn't quite trigger. Came within a few cents. Let's just pass for now. It still looks like it's in lots of trouble, like I said. So we're just kind of in wait mode on that. So let's just wait and see what happens. But you can see these are all, oh, by the way, these are all supposed to be shorts going into tomorrow. CCL, not a whole lot to report there. Down a little, better than the poke of the eye, I suppose. But it remains at a pretty serious slide, as you can plainly see. Let's take a look at the overall market and drill down a little bit. And I don't remember conditions like this ever. I mean, I remember big slides, don't get me wrong, and big spills in the market. I mean, we had one not that long ago, but usually you get a few bounces in between. I really hadn't seen anything significant. Anyway, I noticed Linda was talking about that earlier on Twitter, or X as they now call it. Anyway, S&P banging out some new lows with a bit of vigor. Look at that, down over 1 1/3%. So this is getting fairly ugly in here. You know, routine one day at a time. We could see sell signals, certainly in the Qs. There's already a sell signal Q, but it's not a calendar sell signal in the TFM 10% system. And then we'll see what happens in the Ps. In fact, let me show you that right now. You can see the S&P 500 right in the cusp of triggering the sell signal. As I said quite a bit lately, this is on a calendar chart basis, so it would have to close below this level on Friday, tomorrow, obviously. So we'll see what happens there. The Qs are well below it. Something I didn't think about when I designed the system was the calendar basis, as I've said ad nauseum. So unless the Qs bounce back above this moving average and 10% line, we will have a sell in the Qs too. So it's starting to get pretty serious and pretty ugly out there. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ composite also getting whacked too, down nearly 2%. And we had that little bit of a bounce yesterday, but certainly nothing to get excited about. So it too remains at a pretty serious slide. Also, it's very persistent in the slide. If you draw a line, you could intersect nearly all of the bars on the way down, or pretty much every one of them. Russell 2000, same as it ever was, down 1.5%, down toward these prior lows in here. A little bit of support back here, but I wouldn't get too excited about support, especially in this market. As I've been saying, a lot of areas broke out, came all the way back in, and are now, such as cyber security, beginning to break down out of the bottom of that breakout level or that range. So that's kind of ugly, just like internet did recently. Now back down below the 200-day moving average. Take a look at gold, the commodity, banging out some new highs with a bit vigor. Gold stock's doing pretty good in here, so maybe we'll see some setups there fairly soon. There's just not a whole lot out there to get that much excited about it. Some of these areas that were doing okay, like medical devices, have completely imploded. So that's certainly not a good thing. Retail banging out new lows with quite a bit of vigor. Financials, none of those areas that hit the old highs and then rolled right back over. The list goes on, and I know we've talked about all these areas quite a bit. Transport's banging out new lows with a bit of vigor. Jets also continue to bang out some new lows. Again, you can go through most all of these, and most remain in downtrends. A few defensive areas, such as major drugs, kind of hanging in there. But like I said, the weekend charts early today, I wouldn't rush out and buy those areas just because they're a little stronger on a relative strength basis. Semiconductors, not as bad as the other areas, only down 0.5%. I know, only 0.5%, but still looking fairly ugly in here nonetheless. Again, the list goes on and on. Communications to be another one. Broke out, and now it's breaking down, so that's certainly not a good thing either. Routine, take things one day at a time. I know I haven't said that before, but for now, it's looking kind of ugly and scary. It's a very dangerous time to go in and establish new positions after the mother of all bounces, or even a decent bounce. we'll start looking at a reposition. But again, we'll take things one day at a time. We see a nice pullback from lows, we'll go after it. We'll see how the dash sets up over the next few days. Everybody have a great night. If you have any questions, you know the routine. Thank you so much.